Ooh, hold on. This is nice. Let's see. The world is falling apart, so hunkering down at home seems extra nice lately. To spruce up our new apartment, we've been in the market for some really nice furniture and decor. I bought this couch, for example, which was a made-to-order thing from Denmark that took like 4 months to get here. It's so nice, it's not even a couch. It's a chaise longue. Anyway, this thing cost a few $1,000s, which is a lot, but it's child's play compared to some of the options out there. And if you're anything like me, you will scroll forever through this endless river of just aesthetically bankrupt bullshit in the hopes of eventually finding something that's actually interesting or well designed. And then you finally see something that catches your eye, so you click on it, only to find that it costs $18,000 or whatever. After going through that quite a bit lately, I thought, why not look at some of the most egregiously expensive things that I've seen out there and make a video about it and share it with the world. Some of these are things I would love to own, and quite a lot of them are not. But they all bring to light this whole other world out there of luxury home decor. So, take out your black Amex card and let's go shopping. Alright, I'm gonna start with this, I think it's Lauritz Gallet, I don't know how to say this person's name, pool lamp from 2023. This person is essentially an artist, and this is essentially a sculpture that you can buy it's a sculpture but also a lamp. And I saw this on like TikTok or Instagram or something a while back and saved it. I think it's actually beautiful and I would love to own this. Just not for 16,000 euros. I understand, why things cost a lot of money. This is a unique piece of work. Probably a lot of sort of handmade processes involved in this. But yeah, a little bit out of my budget, but beautiful. And then this I thought was really interesting. This is kind of a sort of this avant-garde thing in a way. Ben Storms is the name of this artist. And these are artists right here. Not everything in this video will just be like art. Some of it will be legitimate furniture pieces. In fact, most of it will be. But this, I would say, is more in the kind of realm of art. This is called the Exhale Coffee Table Breccia Viola or something, I don't know. And what this is actually a giant piece of marble in the shape of a soft cushion. Is this a practical item? No. Is it cool as f***? You be the judge. I kind of think it is. Now it says price on request, but I dug around a little bit and my estimate is that this piece probably costs about $80,000. So I'll probably continue living life without a marble pillow. Same artist, Ben Storms. Crushed coffee table made out of onyx. Helpfully priced right here on the website, $83,420. I wonder if he shares the same humor as our Nazi-in-chief Elon Musk, or if he arrived at this price tag in some other way. Either way, it's a beautiful piece. A bit steep. This is another piece that I could kind of see myself owning, except not really, because I would never have an apartment that has other things that go with this. But then again, I guess this is sort of the statement piece that you get that kind of stands out from everything else you own, maybe. It feels like maybe something that Mariah Carey would have in her sitting room, or whatever. 22,000. Now this is almost Costco pricing here compared to some of this other stuff. It's still, $11,000. That's pre-tax, I'm sure, too. But again, this is a more, this is a reasonable looking chair, meaning This is something that like a regular person might enjoy owning. And a really cool detail here, let me find it, yeah. If you look at the side view here, look at that leg, the back legs. That's cool. I mean, I don't know, I think it's cool. It's like it's kneeling from the weight. I think it's a really nice, cozy looking chair. Is it $11,000 cozy? I'll leave that up to you. This one I was actually kind of underwhelmed by, to be honest, but I was overwhelmed by the price, so I included it. This is made out of Brazilian jacaranda wood, whatever that is. A very nice wood, I'm sure. Arno de Klerk armchair, $28,600. Thank you very much. Again, though, this is an object that I think almost anyone could have in their home, provided that they had $30,000 sitting around. But I think this is a beautiful chair, in particular the patinated steel frame. Beautiful and organic. I'll take it. This is an object that I would never place in my home, but I think it would be a stunning piece in somebody's home. It's very playful, great texture, interesting form. This artist is a Ukrainian designer who is interested in this kind of fantasy realm, I guess I would say. Sort of a mythical fantasy animal kingdom or something like that. Pretty cool. Pretty expensive. La Poltrona armchair, $25,520. It's expensive. Is it beautiful? I kind of do like it. I think it looks like bread dough. But it's, you know, I think it sort of envelops you. It's very, very chunky, and it's got kind of a unique shape to it. I would own this. Maybe not in this particular apartment because it would take up my entire living room, but yeah, if I had a giant house or something and I had an extra $25,000 laying around, I would pick one of these up. Not two though, just one. LOTW stool, $7,750. You would have to pay me that amount or more to put this in my house because I find it very, very creepy. But at the same time, I do find myself attracted to it as an art object. I think it's very compelling. I think it's beautiful and an arresting kind of image. I think the way that that fur cushion is done is really, really well considered. I'd be scared to sit on this thing. It looks like it might collapse. I don't know if it would. I don't know if you're meant to sit on it. But wow, very, very interesting object. Bronze pitch drop stool, $13,000. It's also available in marble. But I like the bronze. It's a little clumsy in the way the drops are arranged, I feel like. But it's interesting. $13,000 worth of interesting. Hans J. Wegner Papa Bear chair, $20,280. I feel like this is kind of a playful chair. Playful in that it looks like a cartoon character almost, but one that's well designed and kind of classic. It feels both retro and futuristic to me, especially in white. And that little patch of wood on the arm leans makes it feel like almost like those are the claws on the paws of an animal. I guess a bear, since this is a Papa Bear chair. But yeah, there's something kind of animalistic about it in a way, but in a very kind of contained and streamlined way. So yeah, I like this chair. Not enough to spend $20,000 on it, but I like it. Now here's a real steal. This is only $750, which I know to some of the people watching this video is still really expensive, and that's why I included it. But I think this is an interesting piece that someone really could consider buying, that brings just a little bit of finesse to any room. This is, it's called a tattoo sleeve stool, which I think is a fun concept. There are these, like, I guess it's some sort of Bosnian thing, Bosnian konjic style. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. But yeah, it has these carvings down the legs, and I like the way it's constructed. It's a cool item. I feel like I had to include the Dune couch, which is really not a couch, but more of a modular sofa system, which went quite viral a few years ago when it became known that Frank Ocean owns this amazing piece of design history. And I think it's, as seen here, it's probably gonna cost you about $150,000. But obviously you could buy, you know, less than this. You could buy fewer pieces and save yourself a pretty penny. Apparently, I think Kanye West is also a fan of this, which is no longer an endorsement anybody's looking for. And Virgil Abloh as well really loved this Dune couch by Pierre Paulin, if that's how you say his name, which it probably isn't how you say his name, but what are you gonna do? As an alternative to the Dune sofa system, we have this Acerbis free system sofa by Claudio Salocci, I think. $47,581 per item. I assume this is one item that we're seeing here. I hope. Otherwise it's gonna get very pricey. But yeah, I don't like it nearly as much as the Dune thing, but it's cool how it has like these different levels to it, you know? You'd have to live in some kind of 2001 space station to make this work, I think, but interesting. Now this one is a touch pricey. This is $1.1 million. I love how it's in 19 carts too. That's I guess a lot of people thinking about buying this thing. It's a one-of-a-kind solid zinc and petrified wood waterfall sculptural dining table. Of course it is. I mean, you can see that quite clearly. Not for me, but at that price, you gotta consider it. Now, I'm not sure I can get away with including this in a video about expensive furniture, because this is, strictly speaking, not furniture. But it is a decorative object you hang in your house, or at least you could. This is a little over $1 million. And it's the original scale model of the Mir space station, the USSR Mir space station. I think this is pretty overpriced, personally. But then again, you know, this is obviously highly collectible for space nerds. I am not exactly a space nerd, although I do like space things. Just not enough to spend $1 million on a model. Sometimes it's a good idea to add some sculptural touches to your living room, and these two ancient Egyptian monumental temple sphinxes for $875,000 would do a great job. But hurry up, because these are in 11 carts. This is a 12-seat dining table and also a ping pong table made of marble, a 2-in-1 deal. It's $120,000, but if you really think about it, it's just $60,000 for the dining table and then $60,000 for the ping pong table. So it's good value, you know, in that sense. When you're done playing ping pong, maybe you want to play some basketball using one of these handcrafted marble basketball hoops. This one is $15,000. Honestly, I think this is pretty cool. I probably wouldn't... I don't know if, like, marble might not be the best material for a backplate. You know, marble is actually a pretty porous material. I wouldn't put it in my driveway, to put it that way. Here's a much more affordable ping pong table. This is a mere $9,000 here. And honestly, I think this is a nicer looking ping pong table. Or I don't know if it's nicer looking, but it would fit into my apartment better. I mean, it wouldn't fit in my apartment, but if I had a bigger space, this more modern style, I think, would suit me quite well. Yeah, I'll add this to my shopping list. I love that this is available at Pottery Barn too. And this could be really lovely in your kids' room, you know? Just a little brass and leather swing for $40,000 with some like ladder action on it. Could also work for some sort of S&M play, maybe. I had this written down as $115,000, but it looks like it's gone up to $116,545.03. This is a modern sofa cast bronze sculptural object. In other words, this thing is not soft, that's not fabric. This thing is as hard as bronze is, which is pretty hard. I think it's hideous, yet wildly compelling. I do think this would look awesome in a certain kind of space. A space that there maybe exists like 4 of in the world. But in those 4 spaces, this would be killer. This is a pretty good deal. This is a famous sculptural work. This is a reproduction that you can buy for $675. It's obviously a real kind of statement piece. As you can see, this is a penis, but it's a penis that you can put flowers in, which is difficult to do with most penises, I find. But if you are above buying reproductions, you can buy this limited edition black prototype, of which I guess there were only 8 made, and that's gonna run you $4,767.75. So yeah, I mean, you have options. I think this is a beautiful piece. This is a gate cabinet in machined and waxed aluminum plate. I think it's beautiful. It's almost $100,000, which, as they say, might just be a bit rich for me. Here we have a snake sofa, seating landscape with 80 elements in Napa leather. This is gonna run you about $240,000, but once you've spent that money, it'll be like you're at a fancy airport for the rest of your life. Amelia Daybed, $95,000. What does that say? Only made for humans who love art. Yeah. I like the shape of this thing. I don't like the typography, and I find it puzzling why anyone would want that statement in their home. Here's another sofa by the same person. Again, kind of a compelling shape, but I don't know, I think these aren't quite for me. $95,000. Yeah, that confirms it. It's gonna be a no for me, dog. We looked at a Brazilian wood bench earlier. This one is more up my alley. This is a Totem Wood Large by Veronica Marr, without an S at the end. $79,000. Definitely more money than I'm looking to spend on a wooden bench. But this is a cool object. Perhaps next to the swing set we bought earlier, we could consider adding this children rocket chair in fiberglass and wood for $63,000. It's a lot of money, but you can't put a price tag on your children's happiness. Here's a nice piece of draped metal. This is a polished aluminum. Really nice and dark, and I think very, very cool. I would definitely like to own this. Not for $60,000, but if someone could kind of mass produce this somehow, I think it's very, very compelling. Here's another drapery piece, and this one is kind of levitating. I can't decide whether this is insanely awesome or a touch too gimmicky, but I guess all I have to do is just spend $45,000 and live with it for a bit and see how I vibe with it. This I actually think is quite clever. I don't think it's a clever piece of design per se, but I think it's clever from a business perspective. It's a $55,000, but to me this is an example of finding a niche and then really kind of responding to that niche and filling that space with something. Because how many boxers are there in the world that are at a high professional level that are making a lot of money? There aren't a ton, but a pretty good percentage of them will find this very compelling to put in their home gym. Also, how many boxing gyms are there that are kind of upscale that might want to put that in there? At $55,000 a pop, you could do good business selling this thing, I think. I don't know. It's an interesting piece. This, I think, is a pretty nice looking sofa. It's $49,000, which puts it out of reach for most of us. But I guess if I had endless amounts of money, I would consider putting this in my home. Although I do feel that at that price tag, I could probably find something more interesting, or simply maybe buy 2 couches, or a couch and an armchair or something. But yeah, pretty nice. This I wanted to include. This is another thing that is kind of both hideous and beautiful at the same time in my eyes. But for me, what's interesting about it is that it kind of reminds me of like 50s diners, which is, I love diners. And this thing is stainless steel, handcrafted in Istanbul for $87,500, which is a lot of money to spend on diner furniture. But it's a compelling object. This thing, in my view, is quite hideous, but I bet to some people, maybe some of you watching, you will find this to be really beautiful. There's something very expansive about how it kind of reaches out beyond its footprint that I guess speaks to a sense of luxury. This is another sort of Mariah Carey adjacent piece, I feel like. I guess it's also available, I see here, in a gold leather, which makes it about 3 times as hideous, at least in my opinion. But hey, it's an interesting piece. This is almost like a conceptual bench here, or I guess a day bed they call it. $93,700. Yeah, this I kind of like this piece, but it does seem rather steep. I guess it's the marble that's doing it. If they made that out of stainless steel or something, it might look more like prison furniture, but it might also be a little bit more affordable. probably get it down to like 40k. Okay, I think I'll round things off with this 21st century Darlington Dot 2 sofa in leather by Roberto Cavalli Home Interiors. $92,100 per set. I guess it's a set because these are two kind of chaise longue pieces with a table in between them. There's something about this that kind of reminds me of like expensive handbags or something, in that it sort of connotes luxury, but it's almost like a cartoony, iconic version of expensive luxury. It also kind of looks like something that might exist on the floor of a Roberto Cavalli store, where like your partner can lounge while you try on outfits or something. It doesn't feel like something that would be in anyone's home to me. But maybe for you watching, you're like, finally I found it. This is the piece that makes sense in my living room. And if it is, then I guess I've just committed an act of service journalism, and for that, you're welcome. Alright, thank you so much for watching this whole thing. Please hit the like button, as that helps other people discover this channel, and subscribe to get more videos from me on art and design and just other creative, interesting, quirky, weird things that catch my eye. I'll see you in the next one.